Hi, thanks for watching. In this video, I'm going to show you how Google ranks your website in the search results and how you can take advantage of that and drive some more traffic to your site and calls to your business by getting it listed on the first page. So what I'm going to do is, just for comparison, I'm going to take some of the top listings on the first page as well as your website, and then I put them into this tool that I use, and it shows me all the information that Google finds on your site and then rates its strength and trust on a scale of 1 to 100. So just by looking at these numbers, we can see why Google is recommending some of these competitors on top of yours. But let me go into a little bit further detail on what these numbers mean and how you can improve them. Now, when Google is determining how to rank a website, it uses two different factors. The first is what's called the authority, or the trust it has in your site, which is basically a popularity contest. Now, this authority is gained when other websites refer back to yours, and they act as an endorsement that Google uses to build that trust because others are vouching for you. So just to quickly define these, if say the local news station did an article on their website for the top 10 best home remodelers, and in that website, in that article rather, the reader could click on a link and it would bring them to your website, that would be considered one backlink from one referring domain. Now there's many different domains or websites that can refer back to yours, any kind of blog or any posting sites, press releases, any kind of manufacturing articles for distributors that you use, things like that. One very important type is what's called a citation. Now, a citation is any time that your name, address, or phone number are listed in an online directory. Now, these directories include, like we have here, Yellow Pages, Yelp, Better Business Bureau. Now, these directories are usually free to get. It just takes some time to find them all, register your business, and then input the information exactly as it's shown in Google search. Now, as you can see, just based on the numbers here of how many websites that these companies have referring back to theirs, why Google is recommending their site up higher in search results than yours. But it's important to note here that it's not just a matter of the quantity of these links, it's also the quality. They need to be relative to your industry or your field from a site that Google trusts. Otherwise, they will add a number but won't actually add any kind of authority. So we can't add spammy links or from things that, or any kind of website or organization that doesn't have anything to do with either remodeling or construction or something in your industry. Now, the second factor for ranking your site is the content on the page. So unfortunately, Google is only picking up two keywords on your page, which is your name and kitchen remodel in Allentown. So if we just take a quick look at one of the competitors, just so I can use this as an example, these are all the keywords and phrases that are being typed into Google search that are being found on this website. And then this is the volume, the number of times per month that they're being searched. So this is where we do some research to find the highest volume keywords and make sure that those are included on your website so that way they can be picked up in search. But just for instance, kitchen remodel in Allentown is being searched 60 times a month. Now, if you're on the first page of Google instead of like the 8th page that I found you on, 60 people a month will be finding your website when they type that in. We usually use a really conservative estimate and say that only 10% of those people that find your website will actually give you a call and become a lead. And then I don't know what the conversion rate is for a number of customers that call you to actually get jobs done, but let's be even more conservative and say only half of that 10% actually becomes a customer and gets a job done. You could be looking at a potential of up to 3 new jobs per month just off of this one keyword. So then we would go repeat that process for all the highest volume keywords relative to the services that you offer in the areas that you offer it in. And then you can obviously see how those many calls and leads coming into the business can add up to some revenue at the end of the month and at the end of the year. Now, there is a formula that Google uses to find these keywords on the site. So if we take a look at it here, the first problem I see, the layout is great. We've got all the information right up here. The problem is that it's not a secure site. So what happens when the site's not secure, a lot of browsers will give the consumer this error message saying that it's not secure. And it makes it seem like the only option they have is to click back to safety when they have to click advanced and then click another link that says, proceed anyway, you'll accept the dangers. So a lot of people will just click back and won't even be able to get to the site. Now this requires getting what's called an SSL certificate, which is not a problem. We can get one right through depending on who you have it hosted by. That's something that they should easily be able to get for you. As far as the layout though, Google isn't concerned much about how the site's laid out. It's just a computer, so it's going to come in and count all the words and text on the page. Now, it's generally looking for a minimum of about 1,500 to 2,000 words because it assumes that the more information you have on the page, the more of an expert you are, and the more likely it is to recommend you. Now, while it's counting these words, it's also looking for the keywords, any kind of service that you offer, and then the areas that you offer it in. Now, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play because you're only allowed to have one of these keywords for every 100 to 150 words of text on the page, which is why I have a feeling that you're not being picked up for many keywords is because there just isn't enough content to qualify for them. So depending on how many services you want to try to go after to rank the website would determine how much content that you would need to add here to the page. So if we go back to the search results, the first thing you're going to see here is what's called the Google Map Pack. Now, this is a pretty important area to try to get into. Statistically speaking, almost half the people will just click on one of these top listings. Now, it's free to be listed in here. You just need to fill out your Google business profile, which is part of the Maps app, so you can do it right from your smartphone. You want to fill out as much information as possible, including the services that you offer, the areas you offer it in, even your hours of operation. Then you want to add photos that are geotagged within your service area, upload those as well as post onto the profile on a regular basis, have customers leave reviews, and then you want to get as many of those citations, your name, address, and phone number. You want those to be listed in more directories than anybody else on this list. Then underneath that, this is what we call the organic search results. This is where the more authority or trust that Google has in your site, the higher up on the list that you're going to rank. So this is where you need to get some of those backlinks from the other referring websites, so that way Google can build that trust in your site and begin to rank you higher and higher up on this list as it builds that authority. So I hope this information was helpful and allows you to scale some of the online presence, but please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or if you'd like me to go into any further details. Also, we could talk about your goals and I can do some research to find out what it would take for you to reach those. And I always appreciate getting feedback as well to find out if information like this is useful for you. So please let me know what you thought. Thanks, and I hope this helps.